X-Files. Lighthouse. Set of Wolves. $3 is really affordable. Howdy folks, I'm Grotto Goblin of the Goblin's Grotto, and welcome to the last week of the Bones VI Kickstarter campaign. And yes, that intro does mean that the fabled Lighthouse is officially in the campaign. But before we get into that, I just want to reiterate, if you are seeing this before the end of April 2022, this is the last week of the official Kickstarter campaign, though it is by no means the end of the line for backers. There will be a good chunk of time after this Kickstarter is over in which Reaper will host an open pledge manager for current and late backers to add more to their carts. However, if this works anything like previous Bones Kickstarters, and I don't see why it wouldn't, Kickstarter backers will be able to add more to their original orders at the original Kickstarter prices, whereas late backers may have to pay a slightly higher toll. So, if you're on the fence or just want to pick up a few things, want to help with the unlocks, but you're just not sure what you want to get yet, I highly recommend going to the Bones VI Kickstarter page and putting in for the $10 pledge, reserving your spot to the Kickstarter prices. Alright, okay, I'm not going to keep you waiting any longer. Yes, the Lighthouse is confirmed. At the moment, we don't have any minis to preview, but we do have this stunning concept art courtesy of Max Dunbar. In addition to the titular Lighthouse, this $30 option will include a walrus, aka the Slaughter Walrus, plus an undead lighthouse keeper merch, and his trusty seagull companion, Crabtrap. Truly, this is beyond my expectations. I didn't know what or if to expect, but this exceeds it. An important thing to note about this option is that it is a Kickstarter and Pledge Manager exclusive, so whether you're backed during this Kickstarter run or late pledging in the PM, that is the only way you're going to be able to get this set, or at least that's the plan. This won't be making its way to retail, so if you want it, I suggest pledging for it or at least reserving your place in the Pledge Manager as a Kickstarter backer as soon as possible. Alrighty, well, I'll certainly be updating you all whenever we get a better look at the renders of this thing, but in the meantime, let's press on with the rest of the Kickstarter news, as there's quite a lot left to cover. And the core set seems like a great place to start. Right off the bat, Lardgulp, the two-headed troll, has been unleashed upon the core set. Do you think such a thing with two heads has two stomachs? Or does everything just go into one big receptacle? Next, along the line are the fire newts, which we saw a bit of in the last video, and these have just been unlocked around the time that I'm recording this. Something I didn't note last time is that the funky looking shaman is apparently toting their giant rat familiar around. This being the case, I imagine this guy isn't a huge fan of that rat catcher. After the newts, the next unlock will be these 4 dwarves. We saw these teased a while back, but now they're properly slotted in. I've said it before and I'll say it again, these will fit in perfectly with the dwarves from the Dwarf King's Crypt box set, which we got in Bones 5 in the form of an encounter that I reviewed on this channel. After those 4, we have 3 more characters from the Dawnseekers. Remember them? They are the band of adventurers revealed way back near the start of the campaign. We got the first 3 back then, and it was stated that the troop is intended to be an all-black band of adventurers, which is a nice change of pace. Given that in the miniatures realm, most human D&D type minis tend to lean more or less in the classical medieval white European style than anything else. So it's good to get some more diversity in our minis. Now that we're nearing the end of the Kickstarter, we're getting the next 3 members of the party. Of this trio, only 2 have renders as of yet. With these three, we have a good party number and a pretty decent spread on the type of characters in said party. I suppose it's still possible a few more might show up down the line, but this is probably the last of this companion troop. Also, I do actually have a metal version of Arik here, though I have yet to build or paint him. Perhaps that's something for a future video while we wait for the delivery of Bones 6. Well, while I ponder that, we don't have to wait to find out what the latest social media unlocks are, though. Last week's was, of course, the Honeythorn Lancer, the Beefolk Cavalry straight out of Briarwood. This week's, and our last one, is the Oxidation Beast. If you know anything about how these are supposed to work, then you'll know this is quite the nasty photo face. Well, if you're thinking about throwing one at your party someday, then share Bones 6 on Twitter, Facebook, and anywhere else you think you can get eyes on it. If enough eyes are gleamed, then this mini will be thrown right into all of our core sets, and we'll all get our own weird metal-eating shrimp guy. Now that'll just about do it for the core set, but we did get a tease for another stretch goal, a pair of Raptorkin. Now these are going to work great as your Aarakocra minis, which despite being literally the first creature in the D&D monster manual for ages, have had a very sparse representation in the realm of its miniatures. Yeah, it's nice to see these guys getting some more rep, and with a pair of really nice looking minis too. Before we move on, one last thing. If you appreciated the bag of 1-inch bases being added to the core set, then you'll be happy to hear that a bag of approximately 25 2-inch bases is also being added to the core set. Yeah, it's always nice to get some more free stuff. Now there's some huge news up ahead, but first, let's cover some equally important follow-ups. One, the whole of Briarwood Vale is now unlocked. Part 1 of the Lost Tombs of Akir was also unlocked. And by the time you're seeing this, Denizens of the Dungeon Part 1 will also be on its way to being unlocked. So we've seen some teasers, some of which don't show a lot, but this one certainly does. This is what appears to be an Utyug. It's a sort of sewer monster that you can encounter in games like D&D. We also got this purposefully blurry teaser of what appears to be a dragon lying on top of a bit of stone. This is by Christine Van Patten. She's the same sculptor that did most of the Briarwood minis, if not all of them. Given what this is, and having gotten a similar mini from the Bones 5 Dungeon Dwellers, I reckon this, and the Utyug, for that matter, may work their way into Denizens. Though, who knows, these could end up as part of their own thing, like, for instance, in a Legendary Tales. Speaking of, we got a new Legendary Tale, the Egg of the Phoenix. This is what that hand figure was a part of. It's a nice mix of casting materials in this one. You have your more classic Bones type materials here with the hand, the thieves, and the flying carpet, which seems to feature a slot in which you can slide any round base minis into. It stands to reason then that you could put any medium or small mini into this slot and have them go on a magical flying carpet ride. So the egg is getting a very special casting of translucent ruby red, and of course these salamanders and the drake are being cast in a translucent orange. That should make painting the various flames a lot easier. It's a really neat selection for only $18, and I think that magic carpet could serve any adventuring party pretty well. Well, as long as they don't lose it anyway. In terms of other options and news, one of the other Legendary Tales, Talons of Winterfall, was of course unlocked, as was the Hellborn Heroes add-on. Another add-on which was revealed to much excitement was the new MSP Colors add-on. At $1.50 per paint bottle, same as the other paint add-on by the way, this is practically a steal. Depending on where you buy them from, Reaper and similar paints are anywhere from double to even maybe 3-4 times this price. So yes, if you like these colors and want to invest in some paints, now would be a good time. But maybe more paints isn't what you're after. Maybe you're after something big. Something like the 30th Anniversary Dragon. Yes, it's finally in the campaign and with a bonus. We've had a good look at this dragon for a while now, but what we didn't know is that it would be coming with a Kickstarter exclusive rider, a Deathknight. This figure will come in both a ready-to-mount and an unmounted form. It's pretty cool looking, and I really love the 3 birds that are surrounding him. While the dragon may make its way into retail someday down the line, this guy will not. At least that's not in the cards at the moment. So, if you want to get this huge dragon mini and this exclusive killer rider, then again, I highly recommend you get your pledge in now. Doesn't have to be for the full amount of all that you want, but as long as you're in, you'll have access to the PM, which you can add on to over time, at least until the PM closes. And you might just want to do that for another reason, because as a last minute change, Reaper has decided to expand the breakout extras from the core set. Previously, all we had of the extras was the extra ants, but now you can expect extras of the Mudmen, Wolf Pack, the Town Guards, and even the Honeythorn Lancers, perhaps even more. Since this is a developing change, you'll just have to visit the page and see exactly how they work this out. Okay, last minute update before I have to start processing the video. Part 1 of Denizens was reached. And while I'm sure much more is going to be unlocked soon, you're going to have to go visit the Kickstarter page directly to find out more. In the meantime, you're currently, emphasis on the currently, all caught up. Yes, things are going to start moving quick now that we're entering the final days and hours of the Kickstarter portion of this campaign. I will definitely be breaking down its ending and what we can expect going forward in future videos. There certainly will be no shortage of Bones content on this channel. But for now, I've been Grotto Goblin of the Goblin's Grotto. You've been you, and thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw here, consider giving the video a like and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out, and it means a heck of a lot to see your support. If you want to support me further, you can always follow me on Twitter, Twitch, or on Ko-fi, where you can also, funnily enough, buy me a coffee, if you so wish. Now, before you go, let me know, are you more excited for the Lighthouse or the 30th Anniversary Dragon? I'm interested to see the breakdown there. Okay, that'll be enough from me today. Be sure to keep an eye on Reaper's socials, head over their Twitch for the big countdown stream, and have a good one. Stay safe, take care, and as always, if you got 'em, let's go paint some minis.